One of the biggest pay cuts in Australian history could be coming soon. In this video, I'm going to go over the worsening economic situation that's happening in Australia right now, how it's going to affect you, how it's going to affect me, and how we can prepare. Let's have a look. The Treasurer and Prime Minister Scott Morrison have announced a new plan that could cut up to $300 a week of millions of everyday hardworking Australians' pay. Under the new JobKeeper laws that will see workers' pay slashed by $300 a week will allow some bosses that no longer qualify for the JobKeeper payment to reduce workers' hours. Previously, workers' wages could not be reduced below the $1,500 a fortnight payment, but now that is all going to be changed with the proposed new laws. Introducing the laws, the Treasurer Josh Frydenberg said the changes were necessary in order to support struggling businesses. Under the new laws, the current $1,500 a fortnight payment will be reduced to $1,200 a fortnight after the 28th of September, and then it will be reduced again to just $1,000 a fortnight after the 3rd of January. Josh Frydenberg said this will provide continued workplace flexibility at a time most businesses are in distress. There are concerns that the industrial relations flexibility clauses in the legislation will allow some companies that no longer qualify for JobKeeper to slash employees' wages. Under the changes, companies that previously qualified for JobKeeper but no longer can get the wage subsidy will be able to reduce workers' wages if they can prove they've had a reduction in just 10%, which most companies have. For example, retail workers that were earning $813 a week full-time could be suddenly told they only needed part-time. A full-time retail worker that was earning $813 a fortnight could see their wages slashed by up to $325, obviously falling well below the JobKeeper rate. The Morrison government first wanted all companies to be eligible to reduce employees' wages even if they haven't had a reduction in turnover, but they've since backed down from that statement and will allow it for only companies that have reduced their turnover by just 10%, which a lot of companies will qualify for. This means the Treasurer Josh Frydenberg will be given extraordinary powers where he can either increase or decrease the JobKeeper payment depending on how the economy does, and that means he does not have to recall Parliament. He can just do this at a stroke of a pen. So it's up to Josh Frydenberg and him alone to decide who gets a JobKeeper payment, how much they get, and when they get it, and how long they get it. He holds extraordinary powers of the Australian economy in his hands. The new testing criteria for companies to be eligible for the JobKeeper payment: big corporations that have a turnover of over $1 billion will have to prove they've had a reduction of turnover by 50%, where smaller companies with a turnover of below $1 billion will have to prove they've had a reduction of 30%. Australia is just days away from announcing its worst economic contraction on record. That's right, a record and not a good one. Treasurer Josh Frydenberg describes the situation as an economic earthquake, and the national accounts will release their June quarter's figures, and economists are predicting that the economy will contract by 6% in the June quarter, a new record. There has been an alarming number of businesses coming out saying that they're under stress and that they're under pressure and they're not going to be able to repay their financial commitments over the next 3 months. The Australian Bureau of Statistics released a survey where up to 35% of businesses are struggling to repay their bills and may never be able to reopen after the lockdowns. They said they're not going to be able to repay loans or repay expenses after 3 months. So with lockdowns likely to be extended or somewhat reduced for the next 3 months, a lot of businesses are going to be put under pressure, and it's going to lead to more business closures and more job losses. They also found in their survey that small businesses, the backbone of this country, and mum and dad, pop shops, are twice as likely to be in financial stress than the big companies and twice as likely not to reopen after lockdown. The survey showed that accommodation and hospitality businesses were going to be the most affected, followed by transport and postal services, not knowing how they're going to repay things after 3 months. So what does this mean for the economy, you and me, and what do we do? This means things are not going to get better, more businesses are going to close, the situation is going to get worse. They've all been, cheerleading the economy, saying that everything's going to be booming in the 3rd and 4th quarter. They said, it's just going to be a lockdown for a few months and then everything will just go straight back to normal. It won't have any effect on the economy, but obviously that's not going to happen. Once the Australian people's confidence in the economy and in their secure jobs drop, so too will the economic situation worsen. So what can we do? Now, I can't give you financial advice because I don't know your situation, but what I am doing is I've paid off debt, I'm increasing my emergency fund, and I'm finding ways to reduce my expenses so that if anything happened, like I did lose my job, I have lower outgoings where the JobKeeper payment or the job seeker payment could cover them, and that way I'm under a lot less stress and will be a lot more prepared. Not only this, but you need to diversify your income or find another source of income so that if one income stream does drop, you have a backup income stream. I'm also looking at alternative ways to reduce my expenses, like creating a more self-sustaining way of living, like getting solar panels on the roof, getting a bigger water tank, and growing my own fresh fruit and veggies. Now, if you've managed to do all those things which I've just said, and you've also got a spare bit of cash, you want to preserve your wealth, again, not financial advice, but what I'm doing, you may want to diversify into precious metals because they tend to hold their value in uncertain times. Or you might even want to speculate in Bitcoin, I don't know, something I've got a small position in just in case, it does good, but it's very risky. And if you're young and you're a long-term investor, not 1 year, not 5 years, but 20 years, and you just got a plan to invest in index funds where you diversify your money across, 100, 200, 300 companies like the ASX All Ords or the S&P 500, just stick to your plan because nobody can predict the stock market. And like we've seen, the stock market is not the economy, and the central banks are rigged to increase asset prices. So stick to your long-term plan and you'll be in a much better position than most everyday Australians. I know things are looking bad, but if you prepare now, you'll be in a much better position than everyday Australians, because I still find that most of my friends and family are not fully aware of the impact that this is going to happen. This was a very quick recession. We went into a recession very quick. People may have had some money, some savings. The government put heaps of money into the economy. The money printers went burr, and now a lot of people are slowly starting to realize what's going to happen. So if you prepare, you'll be okay. To all my loyal viewers and subscribers that have made it to the video this far, I just want to say thank you. The channel has grown so quick and I've been so amazed and so overwhelmed by your feedback. You've just supported me so much through smashing the like button for the holy YouTube algorithm. I've loved chatting with you in the comment section. I try my best to reply to everyone. I love chatting with you guys. I want to thank to everyone that has subscribed. And if you're watching this and you have not subscribed, please subscribe. It's literally changing my life. I'm having so much fun. I'm trying to spread the message to the Australian people because there is so much hard times coming. People are struggling and I want to be there to help. I know I don't have all the answers, but I do know there's a lot of problems. And I do know that if we keep spreading the truth like we are now, people will be well more prepared for what's going to come. So again, thank you. If you haven't watched my other videos, go watch all of them. It really helps out the channel. I love all you guys. Comment below. I'll see you in the next video.